Guys, apparently Bill Gates has a prediction that smartphones will be replaced by electronic tattoos.
Denzel's so good, he goes, "Are we gonna stop that train? All right, so we're gonna stop it. I believe we can stop this train."
Yo, welcome back to the channel, gang. Today's compilation got a bunch of viral videos that will make you second guess reality. But before we get to it, hit the sub button, like this video as well, and let's get it.
And it's just a train, but Denzel's so good, he goes, "Are we gonna stop that train? All right, so we're gonna stop it. I believe we can stop this train." Huh? Right? You, me, everybody in here. We're gonna stop this train.
This has to be a filter or AI because the skin complexion and the eyes changed. The only thing that stayed the same was his hairline.
Okay, can someone please explain what's going on here? Someone that's expert in nature. Let me know what's going on in this circle, please.
Have you ever heard about the most dangerous strait in the world? This is the Drake Passage, also known as the ship's graveyard. It is the widest strait in the world, where countless ships have disappeared due to its incredibly huge waves, reaching up to 50 feet. The thing is, the further away from the equator, the harsher the conditions. Up to the 20th parallel, sea routes are quite safe. Beyond here, the conditions are harsher. And as old sailors say, below 40 degrees, there are no laws, and below 50 degrees, there is no God. The Drake Passage is located at the intersection of 3 oceans and the narrowing of 2 continents. Because it is a narrow place, it creates a path for atmospheric cyclones, and winds reach maximum speed without encountering obstacles. This combination creates such devastating storms. But what are ships doing there? Now sea routes between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans are connected by the Panama Canal, but until 1920, the Panama Canal did not exist. So all trade ships had to pass through literally the most dangerous strait in the world.
Oh, you know it. You know we're going to talk about this. The creepy, dragon-looking Google Earth that everybody is all abuzz about. Speculating, could that in fact perhaps be the Leviathan? Y'all, I'm here to tell you, I've been trying to make a video about this now for, oh my gosh, it feels like 2 weeks. And I'm just going to have to say it. I don't even have time for a ring light or a script right now, but yeah, guys, somebody unleashed the Kraken. And no, not even just the Kraken, because the Kraken, child's play compared to what's really been unleashed, the Leviathan. Now, is this really the Leviathan? I don't know. Perhaps. It sure does check a lot of the boxes. And yes, in fact, guys, whether you want to believe it or not, a Leviathan does exist. There used to be 2, but God killed one because he thought to himself, if they mate, they're in trouble. So he killed one. But this has been noted, spotted, seen, ironically, not so ironically, down by Antarctica. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to lie. Yeah, that pretty much looks an awful lot like the Leviathan. Kind of. Now, here's why I wonder if it is or not. The Leviathan actually has multiple heads, but who's to say? Maybe he's not popping all his noggins out. I don't know. But what's caught my attention, well, there's 2 things. Let's talk about this, yo. On the snout of the Leviathan, there are 7 land masses. If you know, then you know. If you don't, you're going to have to brush up on your Revelation, the beast from the sea. Revelation 13, to be exact. And I saw a beast rise up out of the sea having 7 heads.
Based on how the Bible describes the Leviathan, we definitely don't need 2 of them.
Chat, did y'all hear about in Russia, an entire village fell asleep for 7 whole days? They saying when they woke up from this 7-day sleep, some people didn't know where they was. Some of them didn't even know who they were. Like, chat, is it weird? Is it weird to y'all that a village in entirety fall asleep for 7 whole days? That shit sound like they released a chemical or something in the air that put the whole village down for 7 whole days. But look, check this out though. If they can knock down a whole village for 7 days, imagine what they can do to an entire city, for. They already be spraying shit of these chemicals in the air, bro. And we'll wake up not even knowing, memory loss, not even knowing what's going on. Imagine waking up 7 days later, bro, from a sleep that you thought was a nap. This shit is out of control. Bro, TikTok just keep getting better, bro. Come on down that rabbit hole with me. Let me know what y'all know about this sleep experiment that happened in Russia, man. Where people went to sleep and woke up 7 days later, chat. Let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments.
I cannot even begin to imagine what kind of sleeping pills they're working with. This is definitely not the place I would stop my car to do any sightseeing.
So guys, apparently Bill Gates has a prediction that smartphones will be replaced by electronic tattoos. Like, let me show you what I just found. Bill Gates says tattoos will replace cell phones. The founder of Microsoft has another prediction. This time, Bill Gates says that smartphones may soon become obsolete. He envisions a future where electronic tattoos with tiny subdermal sensors will serve as our main means of communication, health monitoring, and digital interaction. These devices, pioneered by a company called Chaotic Moon, wow, could connect users to the internet, take calls, and transmit data without handheld screens. Let me guess, you also won't be able to buy or sell unless you have this electronic tattoo, right? It's giving very much Mark of the Beast. And I just want to say that they're trying to normalize stuff like this because this has been the plan all along, guys. Jesus Christ is coming back very soon. But of course, the leaders of this world would never admit that, so we're quite literally watching them set up the end times deception.
I'd rather go back to the old school way and start writing letters before I traded my phone for a digital tattoo.
What do you mean women are no longer needed in China? Scientists created an android capable of carrying a child from conception to birth instead of a woman? We're cooked, buddy. We lost the plot a very long time ago. A very, very long time ago. This is not necessary. We're already depraved as it is. You know how many men are going to partake in this? Like, bro, it's over. It's bad. The Bible told us too, in the generation of Noah, the imagination of our heart, it was just evil. Like, go read Genesis. I've been telling people that so much lately. Go read Genesis because history repeats itself and the end is like the beginning. The imaginations of man's heart was just evil. It's like we couldn't think one good thought. Bro, every single piece of technology that we have up to this point has been used for evil more than it has been used for good. Now we're just completely trying to erase God's design, get rid of biological women, which is something that has already been taking place in this world, if you know what I'm talking about, and now integrate robotic women, a robotic womb. Are we being serious, bro? This is demonic and this is satanic. Call me crazy. You think this stuff is normal? You think that the way the technology is moving is normal? I fear for you. You're scaring me. I might think you're crazy.
They're going way too far with female robots acting like they're pregnant. It'll be diabolical if they try to have baby showers.
Who spoke with a Navajo historian of the oral history of Native Americans? Tell me what revelation you got.
Yeah, this was a very important thing. You know, white dudes like me never get a chance to sit down with a member of the Navajo Nation, especially not an academic and a guy who's written books that are used in their system, in their institutions. But we worked it out. Long story short, I wound up going to the four corners of the United States of America. We sat down in a traditional hogan. He's got the fire going. He's drawing in the dirt like the oral historian that he is. But I went there to ask him this question. What happened to the Anasazi, the pre-Pueblo Indians that built all the fantastic cliff dwellings in the Four Corner area, who literally seemed to disappear overnight? So he starts telling, you know, the sanitized story. Well, they probably migrated, blah, blah, blah. And I raised some objections to that, and he looks right into the camera. We filmed him for 3 hours. He looks right in the camera, and he says, well, I shouldn't tell you this, but if you would have asked my great-grandfather, here's the story that he would have told. And he starts telling about a portal opening in very early America, and a fallen reptilian being. They actually draw pictures of this thing. It looks like a half man, half reptile. He comes through the portal. He starts teaching the Anasazi how to go into their kivas and to practice sorcery, pharmakia, how to open gateways and doorways to the underworld. Well, all of a sudden, then the doorways start opening and giants emerge onto the surface of the earth. They draw that too in their petroglyphs that date back to 1,000 years before Jesus walked on the earth, of a doorway, the reptile, giant six-toed and six-fingered beings coming through.
The Bible talks about people with 6 fingers.
That's right.
The Bible talks about giants. So they got that revelation about the same time that Moses got that?
Actually, what they were doing was writing down a record that was showing that this was a true worldwide event. So you had people on this side of the world that had no method for communicating with Moses, and at the same time, they're painting on their petroglyphs about these giants. And by the way, their story goes on because the giants started cannibalizing the Anasazi. They all start crying out to the great God of heaven who sends a flood that goes around the world and wipes out. So yeah, it is an absolute corroboration from early American history written in stone around the same time that Moses is in the Middle East saying, and there were giants in the earth in those days and also after that.
Now, Chris, you took a team and you went out to Sedona, Arizona.
Bro, what the f***? Am I going crazy, nigga? What the f*** is going on? Listen, hear me out. Hear me out, fam. Listen, I was in the backyard, right? Listen. I was sitting in my chair over here, right? A dude started walking on this road right here, right? He was walking on this road. And he said, hey, how you doing? And I said, what's up? And he walked up to me, and we just started chopping it up, bro. We was just talking about life. He was telling me how he trying to make it out and shit. He was telling me, like, you know what I'm saying? Just like we was talking about real life shit, right? So we was talking for like 15 minutes. I tell him, I'm like, all right, I'm finna go back in the house. Look, there go the back door right there. I was sitting right here in the chair. Me and him was standing like right here talking. So I'm talking to him, and I tell him I'm finna go back in the house, right? I start walking back in the house, and I turn around. His ass is gone. What the f***? He gone, like he disappeared. I'm being dead ass. Nigga disappeared. And I'm sitting here looking around for him. I'm like, bro, what the f***? And like this shit just happened. Like I'm still looking for him. I'm like, bro, that nigga disappeared. What the f*** is actually going on? I know I'm not fucking going crazy, bro. I know I'm not going crazy, but this just disappeared. This nigga just disappeared, bro. What the f*** is actually going on? Like, I was talking to him, dead ass, I was talking to this. We was talking about real life shit. I tell him I'm finna go in the house. I turn around, this nigga is gone. Bro, I'm not crazy, TikTok. I promise y'all I'm not crazy. I'm not going crazy. This nigga just disappeared. What the f*** is actually going on? This is some crazy times we living in, bro. Crazy ass times we living in. That nigga just disappeared. What the f***? What the f***? I'm not going crazy. I'm not going crazy, bro. Somebody help me. This just disappeared.
I got the chills listening to this, but he probably had an encounter with an angel.
Wait, you had an encounter with the devil?
Yeah, I got booked for a photo shoot. They took me all the way up this mountain. I was on top of the mountain. We finished the photo shoot. They having OD cars. They got a 3-seater McLaren. They got a Ferrari. And I'm asking them, like, how y'all get all this money? They like, we do demonic rituals. I'm laughing. No, you don't, bro. I'm like, how you get this money? Don't put me on. I'm trying to get like y'all. Like, nah, we do demonic rituals. I say, so what type of demonic ritual? They say, the Illuminati never talk to you. I'm laughing. I'm still laughing at them. Like, bro, you playing a game. Like, they like, bro, no, for real. Leonardo DiCaprio do all the initiation. I'm like, what? I'm like, who is that? What is you talking about, gang? Keep it PG-13. He was basically saying, either you let him peg you or you do oral and you'll get whatever you want. If you want to be the next big actress, next big whoever, I can take you to somebody. And all you gotta let them do is just do what they want to do to you, just for a night. Do some gay, basically do some gay. They doing all this, I'm trying to call my Uber. We on top of the mountain though, so I don't got no service. The people who booked me left. After they leave, I'm in the car with the other dude that they called up to have a photo shoot with me. I get in the car with him in the 3-seater McLaren. On the way up, we go all the way up, like in the swivel, like all the way around the mountain.
Yeah.
On the way down, we take a right. So he not going the same way that we came up. So then that's what I try. I'm like, take me to go get some McDonald's, gang. He said, we not gonna take you to get no McDonald's. We spent all this money to get you up here. This face change, gang. In front of me, you see Venom, like
yeah, like
Spider-Man.
Yeah, from Spider-Man.
Kind of like that. Probably about this wide. Face change. I'm like, what the? Like, it's probably about like right here. Like, see somebody morph into something.
Yeah.
It's like that. It threw me all the way off. We in the 3-seater McLaren, so it's like a button you gotta push to get up out of there.
Gotcha.
He smack our mailbox. So now he hit the button and he get up out of there. He hit the button and get up out of there. I see the button, I'm getting up out of there too. I hit the button. Guess what? It's a mailman come out of nowhere. I run up to him, I'm like, hey bro, let me get in the back of your truck. He looking at me like, what the hell? No. I look at him, I'm like, bro, just let me get in the back of your truck. Bro. Like, please, just take me down to the bottom. Please, just take me down to the bottom. It was God, he took me down to the bottom. Like, people on camera, you ain't gotta believe me, I don't care. I really saw this.
I believe it.
And it made me, that's what made me know that the devil and God was real.
We can tell which robot's been putting in that work.
So Dr. Doofenshmirtz then created a machine that goes around and pick dead bodies up. Now I'm highly confused on why would we need this, unless they expecting bodies that need to get picked up, like they on just the street or something, just laying down. And I don't know why, but I just get evil villain vibes from this. Like a whole body bag robot is absolutely diabolical. Like not calling an ambulance, but pick them up like roaches that's on the street. And people like to call other people superstitious, but answer this question. What is this used for besides the battlefield or an event where there's bodies laying all over the floor? In the times that we living in, I couldn't put it past them. Definitely living in some strange times.
Y'all, I don't know who she playing with, but it's an invisible person, and they're tickling her. Stop.
Who playing on you, baby?
And I pray so much, it can't be no bad spirit in here. 'Cause I pray so much over this house.
Hey. You play with your granny? You play with your granny? You play with your granny?
She is really interacting. Oh my goodness.
It's amazing how calm this girl's parents were. I would have said a couple prayers immediately.
A birth certificate is a contract, and as long as you have a contract with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Incorporated, you belong to them, and that's what slavery really is, right? So who can use law? If you are a member of a corporate ward state, if you are a member of a corporate ward nation that calls itself the United States of America, you are a citizen. Look in the law dictionary and look up the definition of citizen. A citizen is not a sovereign. A resident is not a sovereign. Therefore, if you use an address, which is a fictitious number associated with a designation issued by a corporate ward, right? Then you become under the jurisdiction of those people who are also corporate wards, but who are also slaveholders. All right? So if you are operating in that capacity, law does not apply to you. If you are a resident of the city of Philadelphia, which is a private nonprofit corporation, and you say you are a resident of the city of Philadelphia, then the ordinances and the resolutions of that private nonprofit corporation apply to you. If you are a citizen of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Incorporated, which is a private nonprofit corporation, then
there are certain times when we have to remove large segments of the leg. We can shorten the entire limb, spinning the foot backwards. Once it heals, we can actually put a prosthetic on that leg. It functions much more like a normal leg. For the right patient, it can be life-changing.
But it's amazed me that sitting up here with all this knowledge. Come on, man. Watch this here. And he got all this Bible, but he don't even know he dead. Come on, man. Listen, I ain't dead because Jesus came. He think Jesus coming back, but Jesus is consciousness, right? Jesus is consciousness. He think Jesus coming back, but Jesus already came and did what he did. Jesus said God is within, right? So everybody looking for Jesus to come back. Jesus said if you look up, then the birds will get to heaven before you. If you look down, then the fish will get to hell before you. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. If you want to find Jesus, look within, right? A lot of people don't know this. See, Jesus is consciousness. See, in 400 AD, they changed the Bible. So Pastor needs to ask two questions. The first question you need to ask is this. What the fuck was Jesus between 12 and 33? Who was they? Right? Everybody changed. You don't change it.
No, I want to ask that.
You don't even mind me. Everybody always saying what somebody.
Let's yourself.
But who?
No, I want to ask that question though. Where was Jesus in his teenage years? Where was Jesus?
He was in Africa. What was called Africa. He was in Kemet. But it wasn't called Kemet. He was in America. Right? A lot of people don't know. America is Africa. Now a lot of people know. Jesus was right here. Right? But a lot of people want to think he was over here. He was over there. But it just don't make sense. You got to understand. They changed everything. And the first thing they changed was the map. Right? They changed the map. They turned it upside down. So now you think Africa's Africa. But I'm going to tell you this. They named it Africa. Guess what the name of America was? The Garden of Eden. I saw that mama. Look it. Look it. I get it from God. What God? I get it from God. Listen, listen, I get it from God. You got a God, but I get it from God, the big guy. You know, he sound good. When you ignorant, everything sound good. When you don't have knowledge, you going to talk about history. He going to talk about date. I saw he going to say date. Who is date? Date. Who is date? Who is date? God said, let us make man in our image. Well, who is us then? Who is us? It ain't true. He said that God said that us make man in our image. So if they ain't no they, then ain't no us.
Hey, let him explain that though.
Ain't no they, ain't no us.
Let the bishop explain that. You explain it. Let the bishop talk about it.
It amazed me. Now, you know, this amazed me how smart folk can be. Come on, I ain't thinking so smart. I ain't smart. Till they lay in dark. Watch this out. When he said, let us make man, the Bible said in the beginning was the word, and the word with God, and the word was God. All things was made by him. Without him, not anything was made. He was talking to the word. That's why he said, let us. And Jesus is the word of God. Stop playing me. So God created. So God was talking to himself. Let us make man. Come on, now you go. They ain't no good. You ain't rattling in there. No. Let me go. God gave authority to the word. I'm gonna tell you word they on. Listen, I'm gonna tell you us is. He don't know it because them. Come on, gang. I know it. Listen, I'm gonna tell you us is because everybody confused. Language is language. Us simply mean us. God is not a pretty God. God ain't gotta confuse nobody. God would not say us unless it was an us. But this is what the Bible understands. And I don't mess with the Muslims, right? I do mess with the Muslims, but I don't mess with their God. I don't mess with Allah, right? But the Muslims speak of two creations. One is the spiritual creation. So when he say, let us make man in our image, he was talking about the spiritual creation. Because first was the spiritual creation. So the word that he talked about was Sophia. Because Sophia was the word. She was not. She was understanding. But the church don't know it all. I swear I'm on. Because they blocked it. So the word is Sophia, gang. I swear I'm on. And that's what a lot of people don't know. I thought you put up. Yeah, listen. That's what a lot of people don't know. That's what a lot of people don't know. Next question, gang. That's what a lot of people don't know. The word was Sophia, right? Listen, the word was Sophia. And us was the dimmers and all the angels and icons. Listen, it was angels and icons and all these angels. Now, only thing he write about one thing. Now, God and devil is the same. He write about one thing. I'm not right about. He write about one thing. God and devil is the same. Come on, man. If God said everything comes from me, he said good and evil come from God. That's what Jesus said. That was Jesus said. Jesus said both good and evil come from me. Okay. Come on, gang. That sounded good.
All right, I got a deep question. For both. They said that the Creator is real. If he's real, who created him?
Let me take it because he don't know. Okay, listen. He don't know. Let's see what I'm going. Listen, and this is what I want everybody to understand, right? So you got to understand two things. I am. And when you say I am, that simply means everything. I am everything. I am don't need no explanation. Who need an explanation but I am? Right? Because I am everything. Time doesn't exist. Right? How can you try to explain the creation from a creation? You asking me to explain something that created me. You don't even make sense.
Stop playing with me. The closest thing that I can do is tell you this, right? Everything that he created was mirrored. And a lot of different gods, a lot of different people, because they don't even know who he is. They'll tell you one thing, the true God is silent. He don't say much. He ain't got much to say, right? Because he do what you should do. He create and let it go, right? Because creation is just good, regardless if it's bad or not, because there's no bad or good. Let me tell you how I'm for certain there's no bad or good. This is how I know for a fact there's no bad or good, right? Because right now, if you somebody, the intentions could be bad, but the same what God do in the Bible, the intention was good, so now that's it's good. How can that be? Right? And I'll tell you this, everything is controlled by the mind, so there's no such thing as a lie. You ever met a person that lie and believe they lie?
Yeah.
They lie become true because your mind and your word create your reality. So a lie gonna turn the reality that you live into a lie. That don't mean it's a lie. Your reality just gonna be crooked. So the pastor over here got a whole lot of crooked because the reality and everything he know has been a lie. I swear to God on my mama.
Watch this.
This is 2025. This is the worst generation, the most evil generation since the flood of Noah. And it's getting worse every day. And it's not only society that is rotten. I'm telling you again, the so-called church, religious people are more like the world every day and are bringing the world into its so-called worship. There is no longer a fear of God in this world and in most churches. You know, we've been taught for a long time, falsely so, God's your friend, God's your buddy. God doesn't want you to be afraid of him. I've heard preachers say, I'm not afraid of God. Why, if he loved me enough to save me, I'm his pal, I'm his buddy. But that does not ring true with Scripture. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I'm taught time and time again, ye that love the Lord, fear him. Fear the Lord. Respect the Lord. Jesus said you don't have to fear any man, but you better fear God, because God can cast both body and soul into hell. But the fear of God is gone. And I'm sorry to say that many, many Christians no longer have a quaking, respectful fear of the God who saved them.
Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. What have you done? That's not the mud flood. That's Doodle, the great horse manure crisis of 1894. Oh, you son of a bitch. In the 1800s, after the last reset, major cities faced a monumental challenge: how to dispose of all the waste. Over 150 horses generated between 15 and 30 gallons of doodle a day, and added to the mess was 40,000 gallons of urine a day. These man was uncivilized. They didn't know what to do, and in the summertime, when it was dry, the manure would turn into dust and go inside your mouth and stick on your lungs. And when it was wet, the city would turn into doodle soup. Oh, you son of a bitch. And this is how you know that these men with the horse and wagon did not build these buildings, and this ain't their civilization. Because what was they doing with the manure before? A lesson from the great horse manure crisis of 1894. Now this was the general belief of the people at the time. In 50 years, every street in London will be buried under 9 feet of doodle. Imagine what the streets looked like after the last reset. It must have looked disgusting.
They had a horse poop crisis, but I can imagine their fertilizer game was through the roof.
Forces of darkness come for children very young. Basically, Paw Patrol is mind control, and they are using occult magic. Paw Patrol is a story of 6 pups. I came out of witchcraft, and so I recognize witchcraft rituals. You often call on the different elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. So first we have earth, which would be Rocky. Then we have air, who would be Sky. We have fire, who would be Marshall. We have water, who would be Zuma. About Rubble. So Rubble would be Spirit, the creation dog. He is the construction dog. He builds and destroys.
I already know some years are going to say that's a reach, but I mean, I didn't notice it. You didn't notice it. It took a former witch to identify it and see the significance of it. It's always up to you. But one thing I will say, if you've seen the new Minecraft movie or the game and the portals and the magic in it and all that stuff, like listen, they are embedding that into our children from an early age. So like I've said before, be careful what you consume and definitely be careful what your kids are consuming.
I don't think what she's saying is far-fetched at all. The majority of cartoons for kids should not be aired on TV in the first place.
Y'all, I thought the sun was starting to calm down until I walked outside and realized, no, the sun was not calming down. And here's a whole bunch of videos to prove to y'all that the sun has been turning up, y'all. People saying it's been feeling like fall, but it's still hot. Like, at nighttime it's get a little bit chilly, but then it's still hot. I don't understand this type of heat. But look at this. Yo, look at this in Arizona. Ain't no surprise, bro.
It's been feeling extra hot lately, but this kind of heat will force you to hibernate indoors. But that's it for the video. Thanks for kicking it with me. But before you leave, hit the like button and sub up. Also, let me know what you think about any of those clips in the comments. And I appreciate all the love. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.